Wow, that's kind of existential, isn't it? I've been to places that I didn't really expect to be, in both a good way and a bad way. It's funny, sometimes you have a plan and life just has a different plan for you. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. But at the moment, I would say I'm exactly where I want to be in life, and I couldn't be happier. Growing up, I never really had any real aspirations. I don't remember kind of sitting in school going, I want to be this or I want to be that. I never really had that, you know. I think that's because I'm more of a kind of a day-to-day type person. I studied horticulture because I had a huge interest in gardening and always do. I never really wanted to work in it. I kind of fell into it. I kind of moved into retail sales, business development, recruitment, and then eventually I set up my own company with a friend of mine. So it's kind of been a long way round to get where I am, but it's certainly been a journey, and it's one that I'm very grateful for because I do feel like it's made me who I am. You know, I know this is very Rose of Tralee, but I think sometimes you do kind of have to go through a process to kind of end up in the right place. I have absolutely no idea. I used to plan, and then I realised that it was kind of futile because quite often the universe would have different plans for me. Now I just kind of take it one day at a time. I mean, I make kind of general plans, kind of 5-10-year plans. I kind of know where I'm heading and where I want to be. I don't necessarily know how I'm going to get there, but so far I've kind of always ended up at my destination. Through luck, perhaps, destiny, planning, hard work, I don't know. But it kind of works out in the end. I tend to tell my younger siblings, you know, it'll all be all right, it'll all work out. Because it kind of always does, doesn't it? I don't necessarily look that far ahead and kind of go, you know, this is where I want to be when I'm 50 or 60. I kind of take it one day at a time. I'm kind of grateful for what I have when I have it. Someone said to me years ago, I just thought was the best piece of advice ever. They said, remember when you used to want the things you now have. I always try and remember that. I try and remember to be grateful in the moment. And whatever kind of comes along, whether it's good or bad, you deal with it at the time. I'm really scared of birthdays. I think it's because time is passing. Every year on my birthday, I have this really vivid image of a sand timer. I kind of feel like my life right now, there's more sand in the bottom than there is in the top. And you know, you can't flip it over. It's just the way it is. My friends do try and encourage me to have birthday parties, but I think that's more for them. I just feel a bit miserable, kind of a week before and after my birthday. And then it passes. You know, I don't fall into any great depression or anything. I think I just need a week to digest it. Sometimes I feel like at midnight, you know, the clock strikes, it's your birthday. I have this feeling that my life's going to fall apart the next day because I'm a year older. To date, that has never happened, so I don't know where that comes from. My boyfriend kind of said to me, it's the only aspect of your life that you can't control. You can't control time, and that's why it freaks you out. But I don't know, sometimes I look at older people and I think, wow, that's next. That's the next step for me. Even though they seem really happy with their lives and where they are, it kind of frightens me that time is running out. I kind of feel like I'm middle-aged already. So I tend not to celebrate birthdays for that reason. So that would definitely be my biggest fear. It's probably going to make me sound really pompous, but actually I wouldn't change anything. I think being who I am has kind of led me to where I am currently. So if I made changes, perhaps I wouldn't end up where I wanted to be in the future. I mean, I'd like to be maybe 3 inches shorter, so when I wear heels I don't look like a drag queen. But I don't think it's possible to get a height reduction. I would describe my personality as being quite unaffected. My kind of mentality, right or wrong, is that once it doesn't come in my gate, it doesn't really affect me. Once I close my gate, I'm at home and I'm happy there. Whatever's going on in the world around me doesn't really concern me. It doesn't really come into my life. It doesn't concern me in one way or another. Sometimes you could probably look at that and say it's kind of head burying, but for me it isn't. It's kind of a way of protecting myself. I'm not really big into reflecting. I think life's a bit like driving, isn't it? You know, you need to have your eyes looking forward. There's no point in spending your time looking in the rearview mirror. You know, you can glance every now and then, but I don't think it's terribly beneficial. So I chose to bring along a picture of my favourite houseplant. His name is Brian. I've had him for about 16, 17 years, and he's been very consistent in my life. He's kind of seen boyfriends come and go. He's seen my family grow up. He's seen me progress in my career. I've dragged that plant all over Ireland. Say I've moved house about 6 times with him. He's about 16 foot. I've given all of my friends cuttings of him. So all of my closest group of friends have a cutting of Brian, the original Brian. So I like to think that when I die, I'll live on through Brian and his various babies scattered around the country. Sometimes I think I keep Brian close to me because he knows all of my secrets. I mean, he's seen everything. He's seen some of my disastrous relationships. You know, he's seen some of my jobs that didn't work out. He's seen me at my lowest and he's seen me at my highest. So I think I keep him close to me just in case he ever learns to speak, and he'll rat me out. I think it would be the theme tune to Curb Your Enthusiasm. Because much like Larry David, when I walk into a room, I open my mouth and all hell breaks loose. So Larry David is the writer and producer and the star of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And he's this guy who was just born with absolutely no tact whatsoever. He will walk into a room and just say the first thing that comes to mind, and then the shit hits the fan and people just scatter. He doesn't intend to offend people or, you know, cause a problem in a room, but it's like every episode, that's exactly what happens. He starts off with these really good intentions, you know, I'm going to watch myself, I'm going to be careful about what I say, and I'm not going to offend anybody. And then it all just comes crashing down around him. And I have been known to do that on more than one occasion.